American Catholic leaders presented the historic findings of the National V Encuentro to Pope Francis days ago. It represents work done around the nation to make the Hispanic and Latino ministry in the U.S. stronger than ever. Two of the lay leaders who were at the Vatican with the Holy Father join us now, Wanda Vasquez and Peña. Wanda is the Director of Hispanic Ministry for the Archdiocese of New York. Louis is the Outreach Coordinator for the Office of Hispanic Ministry in the Archdiocese. Thank you both so much for being here. Now, Wanda, what were the major findings of this 5-year process?
I think one of the major findings that we had when we went to Rome was it was actually very sobering to hear our young adults and our youth seeking additional opportunities within the church. One of those opportunities are to provide more faith formation for them, as well as to be able to provide opportunities for them to serve as leaders within the church for the future. So it was very sobering. They were very optimistic and they were very encouraged to be part of this Fifth Encuentro, where we heard their voices. We heard where they are currently and want to be in the future.
And Louis, how about you?
It was a beautiful encounter. One of the key things that we also took away, just the importance of family for the Hispanic community in the United States, specifically marriages and the role that parents play in the lives of their children.
And Louis, can you also tell us about the presentation to the Pope? Who else was there and what did the pontiff say?
Yes, so it was a delegation of about 15 members. It was right after the Wednesday audience, so we were able to greet the Pope very briefly. Some of the members were all men and women who work in ministry, and when we were presenting him with the final documents of the Encuentro process, which he had been following for a long time, so when he approaches us, he begins talking just about that, the importance of marriage. That was something that really struck him about the Encuentro process, and he just wanted to let us know how central that vocation is. A lot of times they talk about religious life and those vocations, but he really wanted to focus on marriage.
Wanda, really quickly, what was that moment like for you?
I felt so blessed. I was shocked. I thought it was a dream. I didn't expect it to actually happen. I mean, we planned for it for so long, and then when you're actually there, you're just like, wow, I'm actually here, you know, and you see this man coming towards you, and he is so humble and so welcoming that it just floors a person that is standing there. It's just amazing.
And as certainly the Latin American Pope has been following the Encuentro, was he paying attention to the multi-year process?
Absolutely. Throughout the whole 4-year process, he did have a presentation at the National Encuentro where he did follow through on what was happening within the United States, and actually he congratulated us for what we did in the United States, because we actually gathered all of the dioceses and we heard the voices of the people in the peripheries.
And really quick for me, what is next for this movement? How do you imagine these findings will enrich the church going forward?
Okay, the next portion of the actual Encuentro, we've already presented the conclusions and the recommendations to the Holy Father. Now what we're doing is we're going to start planning for in-services throughout the United States. The in-services are to share the conclusions and the recommendations with our leadership in our 143 dioceses that took part of the National Encuentro.
And why is this so important to you?
Well,
to both of you.
It provides me as a young adult an opportunity to let my voice be heard. As a first-generation Hispanic living in the United States, it's very important, and it's awesome that the church welcomes me to the table and listens to the voice of the young.
Wanda Vasquez and Peña, who were vital parts of the Encuentro process. Thank you guys so much for both being here today.
You're
Thank
welcome.
you for inviting us.
Thank you.